Making a choice seems pretty simple, right? But in a world that is just overflowing with opinions and ads and advice, how can we ever be sure our decisions are actually ours? That's what we're going to get into today, the art of making a choice that is truly, genuinely your own. So let's dive in. So let's just start with a question that gets right to the heart of it all. I want you to think about the last big decision you made. Seriously, with all the advice you got, all the ads you saw, all the expectations from everyone around you, did you really make that choice all on your own? Or was it, maybe in some small way, guided by someone else's voice? And this brings us right to the core of the problem, what we could call the decision maker's dilemma. We all want to be the captain of our own ship, of course, but it feels like we're constantly trying to navigate through this incredibly turbulent sea of signals coming from everywhere else. Now, to really get a handle on this dilemma, there's one key word we need to understand, and that word is behest. A behest is basically an urgent nudge from an outside source. And once you know what it is, trust me, you start seeing them everywhere. Every ad, every pop-up notification, every single piece of unsolicited advice. Each one is a little behest, an outside voice trying to prompt you to do something, or think something, or buy something. And we're not just talking about one or two voices here. No, it's more like a constant storm. We are literally surrounded by a sea of influences telling us how we should live, what we should want, and even who we should be. That is just a deafening amount of noise to try and sift through when you're just trying to hear your own thoughts? So, how do we even begin to deal with all this noise? Well, the source material for this explainer offers this really powerful metaphor. We need to start thinking about our information diet. And this simple shift in how you think about it, it's the key to understanding how we consume all this advice and all these ideas. I mean, think about it. Just like with actual food, what we consume mentally has a massive impact on us. If you're constantly feeding on junk information from unhealthy sources, it doesn't just cloud your judgment for a moment, it actually contaminates your thinking. And as the source material puts it, over time you can slowly become someone you don't even recognize. Okay, so what are the red flags? What makes a source unhealthy? Well, for one, they always have their own agenda, and it probably has very little to do with what's actually best for you. They don't truly know you or your values or what you're trying to achieve, and that's what makes them so dangerous. Their influence is often super sneaky. It's designed to deceive you into adopting their beliefs as if they were your own, and you might not even realize it's happening. Here is a perfect, classic example, an ad that basically says, "Buy this shoe and you can be cool." See, it's not really selling you a shoe, is it? It's selling you an identity. It's a promise based entirely on their agenda, not on what you actually need. And this is where that disconnect becomes just crystal clear. Look, on one side, you have your goal. You just need to find some comfortable, durable shoes for running. It's practical, it's personal. But on the other side, the source has a completely different agenda. They need to sell you a trendy, expensive shoe to meet their sales quota. The two things are just fundamentally misaligned. All right, so we've laid out the problem. And I know it might sound a little bleak, but it's not all doom and gloom. The key isn't to go live in a cave and block out the world. It's to get way better at finding your healthy sources of information. So the solution is to become a really conscious consumer of information. It means you have to actively choose what advice you let into your mind with the exact same care you'd use when you're choosing healthy food for your body. Now, this does not mean all external input is bad. Not at all. The big defining feature of a healthy source is that its agenda can actually align with your own. The influence itself isn't the problem. It's the alignment, or the lack of it, that really, truly matters. And the difference is just so obvious when you put them side by side. You have the unhealthy, misaligned source, like that Be Cool shoe ad we talked about. But a healthy source? That could be a store that's advertising a fantastic deal on a computer. If you just so happen to be in the market for a new computer, their agenda, which is to sell that machine, lines up perfectly with your goal. It's still a behest, but it's a helpful one. So here's the really crucial point. Making a decision for yourself doesn't mean ignoring the whole world. It means becoming a better filter. It means learning how to tell the difference between the junk food information and the truly nutritious stuff that's genuinely going to help you. Now, I want to share a very simple but really powerful technique you can use to strengthen your own choices. And it's all about something you might not expect, the power of privacy. The technique itself is surprisingly simple. In fact, it's almost counterintuitive in our age of sharing absolutely everything. It's just 2 steps. First, you make your decision, whatever it is. And then step 2, this is the crucial part. You keep it to yourself. Instead of immediately blasting it out to the world for validation or feedback, you just hold it privately. You let it settle in and become yours. So why does this work? Well, because it creates this quiet, protected space for your decision to solidify. It shields your choice from that immediate flood of other people's opinions and their doubts and all their behests. It actually allows your own resolve to grow stronger before it has to be tested by the outside world. And that brings us to our final and maybe the most important takeaway for today. It's about where the real defining moments of our lives actually come from. Because, after all the noise finally fades away, after all the ads and the opinions have been filtered out, what are we really left with? I can tell you, it's not the loudest voices that shape who we are. Because the truth is, the quietest choices often echo the loudest in who we become. Yeah, those small, private decisions, the ones we make after we filtered out all the noise and finally listen to our own voice, those are the choices that truly, truly define us. So, I'll just leave you with this one question to carry with you. After tuning out all those external behests and really focusing on your own goals, what quiet, personal choice will you make today that echoes who you truly want to be?